Hello everyone, welcome to IT Frontier. My name is Hariharnath. In this video, we'll see how to control the color of the RGB LED on NodeRED Dashboard with NodeMCU development board using MQTT. Stay until the end of this video to get all the steps right. It takes time and effort to create content for you guys. So please support by subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon. Let's get started. As usual, let's look into the repository that I have created for this tutorial. Let's look into the flow diagram. So as I have explained that here we are going to control the color of the RGB LED using NodeRED Dashboard. So here in the NodeRED Dashboard, we are going to create a color picker. So that color picker will in turn send a message from NodeRED as an MQTT message, and that we are going to send to MQTT broker using HiveMQ. And then from there, we are going to subscribe the topic for which this color is being sent, and the NodeMCU will receive that message into the topic, and immediately we'll use the programming that we have written in the code format. So that will change the color of RGB LED. So for this, what are the things that are required? So for the library point of view, in the Arduino IDE, we need two. So the first one is PubSub client by Nick, and another one is Arduino JSON by Benoit. So these are the two libraries that you have to install in your Arduino IDE. I'll let you know when I do that. So next one is hardware schematic. So what is the hardware diagram that we have to connect? So first we need, these are the hardware that are required. So here you can see the NodeMCU, which is connected to 220 ohms, and here I am using common cathode RGB LED. So common cathode means the center pin, it will be connected with the negative pin. So here you can see the first one, if the right side is called R, and the second one is the ground pin. Because of that, it is called as common cathode. And then we'll be having G and B. So this is how you have to connect, and these are connected to D1, D2, D3. And you can see this ground pin we are connecting with the second pin of the RGB LED. So this is the simple connection you have to do. So after that, you have to go to step 3. So you have to copy the code onto the Arduino IDE and set up all the boards, ports, and everything that we do every time. So, and then once you upload the code, you can monitor in serial monitor for debugging purpose. And then we'll have to set up the NodeRED flow. So before going to that, we'll first copy the code. So the code would be in this INO. So you can see the control LED MQTT NodeRED INO. So I'll copy this and I have pasted here. So here in the Arduino IDE, it is opened. Now, as I said, we have to install the libraries. So PubSub client, you can type here and you can see PubSub client. So I have already installed, and Arduino JSON. So Arduino JSON you have to paste here. So you'll see Arduino JSON by Benoit. So that you have to install. So now I'll try to explain you the code that we have written. So the first here, the password, username of the Wi-Fi, and then if there are any credentials that you have to use for MQTT, and you have to initialize the client name for the Wi-Fi client as well as the MQTT client. And we are going to use this Arduino JSON. So here we are going to use this static document. So whatever the JSON that will be coming, so we have given 200 as the byte memories that it will be storing. So that's why static JSON document, how much memory it is going to take. So we have put here, and doc will be the variable name that we are going to use. And then we have initialized, these are the D1, D2, D3 pins of the NodeMCU for connecting RGB LED. And then we can see this is the standard setup Wi-Fi to connect to your network. So that we have done. And the next thing is setting color. So we have written one function by which whatever the values that we get from RGB, so red, green, and blue values that we get from the NodeRED, so we have to write into the hardware, right? So that's why we use analog write. For R, red we give R, and this green G, so blue B. So these are the three variables that we provide using this function. And then we'll be having this reconnect. So this reconnect we have discussed last time that it is going to connect the MQTT connection, and it will also subscribe. Right now we are the only thing that is got changed here is we are going to subscribe. So we are going to subscribe to this topic, IoT Frontier / color. So once we have subscribed, we have to also mention the callback. So I'll explain the callback after this. The setup, we have to set the pin mode as output for red, green, and blue terminals of RGB LED. And then we have to set up the Wi-Fi and as MQTT server. And after that, we have to set up the callback. So callback will be called whenever any messages that are coming to the topic you have subscribed. So this is important. So we have to go to the callback, because callback is one function we have written. So in this callback function, it will be getting topic and message and the length of the message. So first of all, we'll be printing the topic. So once the topic is printed, we are going to find the message. So the message that we get is found using this for loop. So we are going to get the message in the message temp variable. And as I said that we are going to get a JSON. So that's why we have to use deserialized JSON so that you can get those values separately. So right now I have JSON in which RGB values will be there as a object values. So that's why I'm converting this message temp into doc. So using this deserialized JSON. So once that is done, I can take it as doc of R, doc of G, doc of B. So like this, you'll get all the three separate values. So once you get that, you have to use this set color. As I mentioned, set color is going to set the values to the hardware RGB values. So that is why we are using this. Next, in the loop, we'll be using this client. If it is not connected, we are going to reconnect. And then for every 30 seconds, we are just running as a loop. So that is very important to not reset the board. So this is how simple the code is. Now I'll try to connect the NodeMCU COM6 port. So if that is not selected, you can also select it manually here, COM6, and type NodeMCU. Mine is 1.0. So I have selected this and upload it. So first it will compile and then upload the code. Now you can see it is uploading. So the code has been uploaded. So in the serial monitor, you can see that Wi-Fi has been connected and it has been attempting to MQTT has been connected and then subscribed. So I have put the retain flag. That's why you can see the first color is already there. So I'll explain those things. So we can go back to the repository. So we have done the second step 3. So where we have monitored the values in the serial monitor, and then we'll go to step 4. So in the step 4, we have to go to the NodeRED. I have started the NodeRED in PowerShell. So PowerShell, it is running right now. And next thing we have to go is using the manage palette. We have to add the NodeRED dashboard if it is not added. So I'll copy the NodeRED dashboard. So I'll go to the NodeRED, and here in the hamburger menu, I'll have to go to the manage palette, and here type for NodeRED dashboard. So once I've typed, you can see it is already in use. So which means I have installed. If you have not, you can click on install. Next thing is the import the flow. So I have to copy this code, and I will first delete whatever is there with me. So I have deleted. Now I'll go to hamburger menu again and then click on import. I'll paste the code and import. So import copy. So now you can see in the new tab, you should be able to see the control LED. So what we have done here is, so under the dashboard palette, you can see color picker would be there. So this is the color picker. I have dragged and dropped. And here in the color picker, the only change that I have done is the group. I have created a dashboard tab, and then it will be, the name would be control LED. And another thing, important thing is the format. So it can provide you in the hex format. It can provide you in hex 8, HSV, RGB. But as we know, it is easy for Arduino programming and NodeMCU, Arduino IDE, which is good for RGB values. So that's why I use the RGB, and then I have to click on done. So once that is done, I have connected this to 2 places. One is debug, another one is the MQTT out. So MQTT out, I have connected with the server called HiveMQ. So this is the broker, public broker. So you can get the values of these, whatever are the host name from this public MQTT broker, and the TCP port is 1883. I'll paste the links in the description, and you can see these values have been mentioned here, and I'm used protocol 3.1.1. You can use even the 5 as well and connect automatically. So everything will be similar. So once that is done, I have to publish to a topic, that is IoT Frontier color. So you have seen in my code as well, I have subscribed to that topic. So that's why here we have to publish to that topic and done. So once that is done, this we have to click on deploy on the top right corner. So I have clicked on here, and you can see immediately the connected message has come. So next thing we have to do is we have to use this UI and provide /UI. So copy this link and /UI. You can go to the dashboard tab that I have created, and you can click on here. So once you click here, you will be having this color picker. So you can select any value. First, I can select green. So here you can control the brightness as well. So right now I have selected green, and immediately using the debug node, I can see right now these values are coming as RGB, and these are coming as an object, not as a string. So there is a reason for that. So for that, what you need to do is go to the color picker, and in the payload, you have to select as current value as an object instead of string. Because if it is coming as an object, it will go as a JSON to my NodeMCU, and there I can convert that into my objects again. So that's why to easily parse them, I have put it as object, which will come as a JSON. Once we have written the code and uploaded onto the NodeMCU and connected with the RGB LED, you can see the light as well getting changed. Now again, if I do blue, you can see values getting changed. Blue is higher and red less, and G is 0. So this is how we got it from the color picker. Now if you want to see the values, so I can show you here. So you can see, right? So now what I can do is I can put red. You can see red got changed, and I can do green. So you can see the green. This is how the values are getting. So this is the hardware schematic that I've connected NodeMCU, and then the jumper wires are connected with the resistors, 220 ohms resistor, and then you can see RGB LED, and the negative pin is connected to the ground, and I have powered it on using USB. So this is already programmed. Now I'll try to control from the dashboard. So here I'll put the value of blue. So you can see blue immediately, and I'll reduce the brightness. So brightness got lightened. Now I'll increase the color intensity. So you can see it got increased, and I'll go to green. So green has come, and yellowish you can see, red. So this is how you can control the RGB LED. I hope this video has helped you understand the steps to use MQTT to control the devices on NodeMCU using NodeRED Dashboard UI. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.